Welcome to Varsity Nutrition. I'm Derek Marks, and in this episode, we're going to introduce the ERGOGENIC AIDS series. In this particular discussion, we're going to define ergogenic AIDS and list some of the different categories within ergogenic AIDS to better understand what they can do for you. We'll also have a brief conversation to help you decide what type of ergogenic aid is best for you. It's not a one-size-fits-all with these things. We're going to discuss the rules, the absolutely essential rules for you to follow when selecting an ergogenic aid. And then following this lecture or video, there will be a series of individual videos on specific ergogenic aids that are the most popular and most effective right now. What are ergogenic aids? Well, by definition, yes, work-enhancing substances believed to improve performance. And the term believed there is important. Sometimes there's a placebo effect, but ergogenic aids are those products that athletes may take with hopes, with the belief that they're going to help them be a better athlete in some way, whether it's during training, whether it's during competition, or whether it's recovery from training and competition to help them adapt to that a little bit more quickly and thoroughly. Within the world of ergogenic aids, there's a whole selection of categories in which they work and are applied. Nutritional ergogenic is different than other ergogenics in that nutritional ergogenics are food-based. There are pharmaceutical ergogenics, there's psychological ergogenic aids, mechanical. There's all sorts of ways to sort of separate out work-enhancing substances believed to improve performance. In our context, we're going to talk about nutritional ones. The categories of nutritional ergogenics and what they might do for an athlete, they're ergogenic aids that provide energy, they help with fluid balance, maybe assist with strength and power development, help with recovery. There are stimulants out there that have also various effects, as well as biological buffers. Which is best for you? That is a very individualized question. Ultimately, I ask athletes to consider what their sport is. What is your discipline? What are the demands of your discipline? And which category of ergogenic aid could help you perform within that discipline? For example, if you're in a sport where strength and power aren't a determining factor of your performance, you're not training for strength and power, you're not performing in a context of strength and power, you probably don't want to take an ergogenic aid that will help with strength and power. Conversely, if you are looking for improved energy availability for a sport, you might be an endurance athlete. Yeah, an ergogenic aid that helps with energy delivery or energy availability might be for you. So the question, which is best for you, is really personalized and really aim to help you be the best version of yourself. The rules. There are 4 really essential rules to follow when selecting an ergogenic aid. The first is make sure it's safe, and that is by far the most important. There are ergogenic aids out there, and in this world with such easy access to such a broad selection of products with the internet, there are products out there that will not be safe for you to take. And they may not say that they're not safe, so you might not know. So ultimately, checking for the safety of an ergogenic aid requires a little bit of research. I always suggest to athletes, talk to your coaches, talk to your trainers, talk to people in your organization that are knowledgeable about ergogenic aids to make sure that they approve first. Secondly, do your own research. Get out there. I've listed examine.com as one of the best resources out there to give you a fair, unbiased evaluation of ergogenic aid products to help you determine whether or not that product is safe or not. That is the first rule to follow, and don't ever bypass it. Secondly, make sure it's legal. And this is different than being safe. Legal means, does your sporting organization allow you to take it? Depending on where you play and who you play for, I know the NCAA is quite rigid with their rules, and they have some really specific rules about things you are allowed to do and not allowed to take and all that. So check the guidelines, and most of you get some educational pieces from your organization about those guidelines, but it's always up to you to know what those rules are. When selecting ergogenic aids, just as an extra measure of safety, use products that have some sort of third-party analysis or inspection. So NSF, USP, Consumer Lab certified ergogenic aids will be clean. And so it's a kind of a bigger category to talk about, which we won't get into right here, but there is no regulation of supplements that will be able to tell you if there is anything in that supplement that's not listed on the ingredient list. And so we have these organizations, these third-party organizations that will check to make sure that your creatine is just creatine and not some other products in there that might end up showing up on a urine test. So always check with your supplements and always check with your organization's guidelines. The last two rules are pretty straightforward. Make sure it's effective. Like, does this product do what you want it to do? I'll refer you back to examine.com. Examine.com is a pretty extensive database of ergogenic aids. They've done the research for you. You can trust them. Check them out. And then finally, can you afford it? Is it something that is worth the money? Like, is the improvement in performance that you expect worth the cost? Some ergogenics are really expensive. Some aren't. And a couple of side notes. All the products that we're going to talk about here at Varsity Nutrition follow these rules. I never recommend or discuss ergogenic aids that don't follow these rules, at least the first three. Affordability is sort of obviously a personal thing, but the first three rules are always followed. And then secondly, when you start to try out an ergogenic aid, please always test it out during training and never on a competition day for the first time. If you have a bad reaction to that ergogenic aid, you could have a disastrous outcome because of that. That's it. Thank you.